I'm trying to untie here. I'm taking back roads, y'all, because for months it seems like my typical route to going shopping has been under construction. There's like one kind of road apparently, but not really. But as you can see, I'm taking a back road, or not. But I'm just letting you know. If I get lost in this, oh well. But at the same time, this plays right into the title of this video, which is how to be self-confident. This might be a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to say misleading, but all of this plays a part of being confident, just knowing that you don't know everything. That's really the simple answer. You don't know everything. And that's okay. I think a lot of times people get anxious or nervous because they have the expectation that they should. Yeah, don't should all over yourself. If I were making stickers, that would be one. Okay, so there is no should. Just do or not do, just like Yoda. And a lot of times I think, and as I'm trying to think back into my past where you might have had self, like being hard on yourself, thinking, oh, I should know how to do this. I'm this age, or I went through this kind of training, or I've done all these things and I should. It's like, no, not unless you've actually done it. And even then, you might need to course correct, right? And it also brings this up for me because today I went to a workshop for teachers, and I have a student teacher this school year. And as I'm thinking about it, I was like, ooh, I would love to have a student teacher next year. I think I got really lucky with my first one. She is amazing. She's super kind and sweet. And she's open to learning, and that's all you can really ask for, really, right? But anyway, so one of the, I guess, workout like topics that we had was about how to support that young adult coming out of the world and doing their thing, right? A lot of us teachers kind of all in one way or the other. Sorry, a train track. Got to do the thing. Like, a lot of people don't do that. All right, so in one way or the other, we all came to the conclusion is that sometimes you have the expertise or the knowledge, but then you've got to learn to execute. And what comes out with a lot of new teachers, and probably a lot of people in a lot of professions, when they're trying to do whatever it is they're doing in life, is that they don't feel confident enough because they haven't done it enough. But then they feel like, well, I need to be perfect because I don't know why, and then the term imposter syndrome came up. That it was like popular, I guess. It's like, it's not a syndrome, y'all. It's called life. Go live, right? You're going to make mistakes. And this is what I tell my 7 and 8 year olds. Like, people don't get mad at babies. They mess up all the time. That's all they do is mess up. Okay? That's what they do. And why would we not get mad at babies or toddlers, but then you're hard on yourself on doing something that you've never done before? How to be self-confident. Just know that you don't have all the answers right there. And sometimes you just have to just go ahead and take that leap of faith and go ahead and get messy. Life is messy, y'all. Like, it really is. I think us veteran teachers, and this is my 19th year as an educator, came to the conclusion, it was like, we might have to leave the room every once in a while, a little more often, and let fledgling teachers go ahead and just build that self-confidence, because they're not gonna, it's nice to have that backup support teacher saying it's okay, when really they just got to go ahead and do it. You just got to go ahead and go and Let your little wings fly, little birdie teacher wings, and whatever wings out there in life that you have, let them be. Okay. All right, I'm trying to make sure I'm not getting lost. And if I do, oh well. I mean, I'm in my neighborhood, right? Today is a nice sunny day. Like 50 degrees feels hot, y'all. That's why I was like trying to untie my my scarf here. Because we've been super cold the last week and a half or two almost. We had two snowstorms in Atlanta come through since the beginning of the year. Two. And somebody said the other day, oh, be ready for another one. It's coming at the first week of February. I was like, oh gosh. Wow. But the day is pleasant. I love that I was in a situation this morning throughout the day with like-minded educators, because we also find ourselves in the workplace with people who might not have the same intentions. They're just there for a check, and there's nothing wrong with being there for a check, but it's almost like somebody's forcing you to be there. And I don't like, when I'm at work, I like being at work, okay? And it makes me sad that people don't find something that makes them want to be there other than the check. But some of us still are in that mindset of just get money, get lots of money, get it easy, just get it fast and get it easy. But it's not really that easy if you're suffering. If you're there and you really don't want to be there, that's the cost, okay? There's more cost out there than just money. But yeah, so this morning, like I said, it started off really great, quite honestly, where the first woman I ended up talking with, she was like, we had a quote we had to kind of look at and decipher, and she was like, I don't feel this way. It's like, and she's been teaching, I think, a little longer than me. She's like 26 years, and she was like, I don't feel this way. I was like, I want to be a teacher. It's like, I'm not here to punish people, and that made me feel a lot better, because we're, sometimes we're in spaces where there are, like I said, people who just don't want to be there, and they're there for just their little check, and they're suffering, and I know I choose every day, and unfortunately a lot of people don't realize they do choose every day. And I think that also builds into what confidence we have, right? Anxiety. Even a few days ago, I'm gonna go spill some beans. This was my first other meeting earlier this week at work, where people just started talking about the anxiety medicine they take on a like casual. I was like, whoa. And I have done some of the research because of my brother, but they say anxiety is the biggest mental illness that's happening in the United States right now. Anxiety, I can believe that. Anxiety for what? Not believing that you can do things, not believing that you belong in places, not believing that you measure up, any of those things. And even later today in our workshops, we had another teacher who she brought up what we call a dilemma, and we kind of act as a think tank for her. And she brought up the situation of a parent being so aggressive about having her child achieve, and not just achieve, but make 100s on everything. And that was no exaggeration. Even though the child, according to the teacher, said the child, she's making 95, she's making 97. And it's like, what's wrong with this lady? Like, that's what we're all thinking, like, what's wrong with this lady? Is she okay, the woman? And it's kind of like seeping on into her child. Like, there is no such thing as perfection. You would like to think a lot of adults know that, but not really. Thus, I think the anxiety medication that most people are on out here, right? And if you're not on anxiety medication, a lot of people are drinking wine every afternoon, or smoking substances, or whatever it is they're doing. It's very interesting. The self-confidence is in knowing that you're going to make mistakes, but you got to get through them. I don't know. Maybe I was also looking at words too, because I was getting some ideas about, I am working on a book, and I need to finish a book, which reminds me it's been kind of shelved accidentally. But I was thinking about words and how people use words, and that might be another video. But as I was playing around with some words during this workshop, I was thinking about my expertise. Maven is the perfect word for that, right? And this is a little bit of a sidebar. It's like, people assume a woman of a certain age should be married. Again, don't shit on yourself. Should be married, should have children. What do you have to offer the world? What good are you? Like, all of that happens. And I don't let any of that affect me. Like, I've kind of been through that. Not obviously in my 30s, but family, they're always saying, well, when are you gonna get married, and all that kind of stuff. And they start looking at you funny and like, are you okay? Like, those kind of things. It kind of annoyed me, and I'm okay with that, because I also saw what a really good marriage could look like. And then now I'm hearing about other people and how bad their marriages are. I was like, I don't think so. It's like, no thank you. But self-confidence is in knowing that you know who you are, you know what you want out of life, and you stand on it. And I know I made a video the other day about Jimmy Carter. He is definitely one of those people who, no matter what people said about him, he lost a presidency. Like, he served one term, but he did what was right for the situations, and people didn't like that, right? And then they voted him out. But he continued to serve. And actually, it was almost like I was relearning about Jimmy after Jimmy's now, like, Jimmy was such a good man, y'all. Like, oh my goodness. Like, after his presidency, he was like 56. He had another 50 years of helping people. In fact, he did even more as a private citizen, ex-president, than he ever did as a president. And I'm just like, wow, really fascinated. But anyway, he was self-confident. He believed in who he was and what he stood on, what he stood for. Yes, he had principles based in religion, but he also had this belief in himself. And I have never read any of his books, but it's kind of inspiring me to want to read some of his books. He wrote books. Oh my gosh, he did so much. And sometimes we have to lean into seeing, who are these people, not these bite-sized social media clips of a minute or whatever, and somebody's telling you to do this, do that, act it out, like pretend. It's like, no, you have to grow as a person. You have to have understanding, and understanding only comes with the knowledge and you letting it process, roll around in your brain. That's how you come to understanding. And when it comes to that self-confidence, you've done that work. That's what the work is. Okay? If you're just listening to other people and you're just following the steps, you don't know if those steps work or not. You're just listening to somebody who's telling you those steps. I'm only sharing what I'm sharing. Like, you don't have to believe me, but I'm telling you how. It's more than just the steps, it's the how. And back to, my student teacher and others that are like that, where they're starting to learn how to live in the world and be who they are in the world. It's like, you got to know who you really are and let that part of you shine through no matter what. Yeah, people are going to judge you, but that's how life is, y'all. I'm sorry. Some of y'all are out there like, don't judge. That If you don't judge, how do you know you're going to be walking down the street and see a criminal or not? Okay, that's judging. Okay, don't judge. You need to. I don't want. Let me rephrase that word. Have discernment. There's even another word that I just wrote down today. There was conscious something, but when I remember, I'll remember. But having discernment, it means you take that information and then you assess. We all judge. Don't sit there and say you don't. That's a lie. Don't judge. When people say that, they are judging. They say don't judge. Something made them say don't judge. They judged. I crack me up sometimes. But self-confidence, sometimes it comes with time. Most times. I don't want to say all the time, because there are some people who really are coming into situations where they have to have that confidence. I used to say fake it until you make it. Yeah, there's a little bit of that. A little bit. But then sometimes it's okay to show your vulnerability. So even in the classroom, I will tell children if I don't understand something or I don't know something, I'll be the first to tell. I don't know. I do not know, honey. But we can go find out. Okay? I'm not going to sit there and make up something just so I can look like the authority or whatever. Self-confidence is in knowing your weaknesses too. Okay? Alright, so I pull into my driveway here. I made it. Oh, yeah. And it took, wow, that didn't take very long at all. Back roads, who knew? So yeah. Yeah, I agree. The word judge is very vague, but people use it all the time. Like, sometimes you really do have to have discernment. I think that's the better word. Like, knowing what's, for what occasion. But having self-confidence, that's something I think I want to put down in some kind of formula. Like, most of it comes with time. And getting over fear, getting over, not even getting over, there's no such thing as not having fear. It's knowing that this is something that needs to happen for your growth and for your development. So it's not about like saying don't be afraid, right? Because we're all afraid. And that's also the big thing that a lot of people just don't talk about. Like, they just say, oh, do this, do that, do these, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes when I'm still teaching, I'll get nervous sometimes. When I'm performing, honey, I can tell y'all, I still, like, on day of shows, I'm like, I'm going to cancel, like, every single time. And I do the show anyway, right? And it's just one of those things. Just believe in yourself. Believe that you will be okay. You will not die. Right? It feels like it. The anxiety is high, but you'll be okay. Even if you mess up, even if everything failed. And this is what I used to coach when I used to coach singers. Even if everything messed up, act like you did it on purpose. Like, see, I wanted to see what y'all would do. So you gotta, turn lemons into lemonade. That's all, you gotta make well of the situation. Oh, you don't want to see my nails. Like, my nails are nails of a person who works. And that's something else. I was a little bit jealous of the other teachers because I was like, what do y'all do all day? Because I do woodworking at home. I play an instrument. I can't have fingernails. Like, I do have, these are the strumming side. Actually, they are a little long. They're a little short right now. These are the strumming nails. Let me change hands. These are the left-handers. My calluses, a lot of people don't notice them anymore. But they're there. My calloused nails. But yeah. All right, so I am home. I'm gonna unpack some things. I will go spend the night at the apartment with my brother, and work on some other things for school next week. I need to make a checklist for my student teacher. But yeah, that's how you build. I didn't even call it build self-confidence. How to have self-confidence. You just know that you're not perfect and just do it. Live. Life is made for mistakes. Okay? I play guitar professionally, I guess. Yeah, professionally. I I used to do percussions too. I have a drum kit in the house, but it's packed up. But I am looking into getting African percussions because I've been doing a lot of studying of African culture, and I'm interested in trying to see what I can come up with some African percussion. So yeah, and I'm a singer. All right, and you can Google me, Nerd Queen. Right. Mm-hmm. Oh, my hands as a woman are larger than most men's. Um, I'm kind of tall, so I wear. That's why I can't wear gloves. I can't buy women's gloves because they're too small. But yeah, other than that, I have the perfect hands for the piano, and perfect hands. And I do play piano. I'm just really rusty. Um, but yeah, guitar. All right. So check me out on my socials. You can check out my life audit if you are out there and you're just like, well, I want to be able to be a more confident person in the world. Like just now, that was something else I noticed too as I was being rung up. I always know that I carry myself in a certain way that intimidates a lot of people, mostly women, other women, which I used to be upset about it, and I think I even put out a video about it, but now I just don't, it doesn't bother me anymore because I'm just like, I know what it is. I just carry this really strong, confident energy of, I don't care what I look like. I don't care if you talk about me. I'll help you do it. I don't care. So that's hard to beat, especially, and that could be a whole nother video, how women harm themselves and each other, weaponize each other with words and comments. That's not life-giving. I don't associate with people like that. And when I come face to face with people like that, they really just don't have any defense around me. And not to say that I'm battling them. It's just like they tend to kind of shut down and shrink. Not my fault. It's like, listen, it's like I'm living my life, and you're part of that crew out there that just, so yeah, so you can check out my other videos, my electric doses. There's at least 50 of those videos if you're interested in. With that, I say take care. Sorry, it keeps going in and out. Take care. Bye.